So when you reflect about the maturity of SharePoint, it's already a teenager. SharePoint was born in 2001. The boy, I think about it as a boy. I don't know why. Maybe I think more about Office 365 as a girl. But it might be only me. So this teenager is now 13 years old. And Forrester has been following the evolution of SharePoint during the years. And actually they came up last year with three main issues with SharePoint as a teenager. One, uninspired user experience. Two, the lack of mobile solution, although with the new leadership and with Satya coming on board, we have seen some improvement in the past month. But overall, very difficult. The main issue ended up being very difficult for us IT people to convey the business value of SharePoint. And there is actually a gap between the IT enthusiasm about the Microsoft collaboration technologies and the way line of business sometimes are looking at these technologies. So that's one of the things we want to talk about here. And one of the impact of this gap between IT perception and the lack of enthusiasm from line of business IT is, according to recent statistics, only 11% of the licensed SharePoint users are actually using SharePoint on a daily basis. So there is a big gap between the investment in SharePoint and the actual usage of SharePoint. So that means that your effective cost per SharePoint user is multiplied by 9. So you may think, hey, it's not so expensive. I'm paying, when I do all the math, for an on-premise SharePoint. By the way, who is on-premise? I mean, your SharePoint on-premise. Everybody, all of us are on-premise, right? But who is as a SharePoint deployment on-premise? Okay, who has Office 365? Who has both? Okay, so pretty much everybody has on-premise and some have an hybrid with a combination of both. So basically the cost, and I don't think it's different for Office 365. You have the exact same issues. The technology is the same technology. The user experience is the same user experience. And so far they didn't yet totally diverge, which may change in the future. So we see that your effective cost is multiplied by 9. So this can be very expensive. You may think that overall cost is $500 per, with competition with the folks downstairs. I'm not going to win that one. So if you were thinking SharePoint costs you, let's say, $500 per year, including everything, or you end up paying 9 times more because you have much reduced usage. So what happened because of that is that a lot of your users are going rogue. They are going pirate. They are using, without asking IT, they are using their own, because of this lack of adoption, this lack of inspiration, and this lack of perceived business value. A lot of your users are going rogue, meaning they are going Dropbox, they are going Box. Who see that in your, do you know about users using Dropbox, Box, Google Docs? Okay. And the one which didn't raise their hands, you need to look a second time, okay? And you will then realize that a lot of the 200 million users of Dropbox are actually in your organization. Some of them are in your organizations. And actually this is, we're talking about governance and how all the work we have done on SharePoint to increase governance and all this work is actually lost, and there is an increased liability when people are actually going on this Dropbox and Box. They are doing it without asking IT, they are doing it without metadata, they are doing it without security. There are a lot of stories out there how information has been disclosed because of the fact that they have been put on this unsanctioned IT infrastructure, cloud services. And the cloud is making it very easy for line of business to just register to a service and to start deploying it without even talking to IT, and also without understanding the implications and the security implications, the liability implications. So what do we do about it? In particular, that we have invested quite a lot of money in this infrastructure, this taxonomy, this governance, scalability, server farm, cloud adoption, hybrid model. What do we do about it? I think it's now that they had one good excuse, all these Dropbox folks, they were saying there is no real mobile solution. And now, in the past 2 weeks, there was 14 million of downloads of Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel are the top 3 applications download on iTunes. So now we have a new Office-enabled iPad. So these BYOD devices and this iPad, which we are bringing to work, but not necessarily doing work with it. It's like sometimes you bring your child to work, right? And you say, sit down, do some drawing, don't disturb. That's the same thing we did with the iPad. We put it on the side, and we said, don't disturb me now, I'm taking my laptop doing some real work. Contracts, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentation, everything was done. But now you got the real Office from Microsoft with a sustainable strategy to keep it current on the iPad. So this is a revolution. This is really an earthquake because all of a sudden you can really do some real work. And actually, which application I'm using to show this? The iPad, Microsoft iPad and Harmony, actually. To navigate, I'm using Harmony. To change metadata, I'm using Harmony. But now I have a real authoring tool, and it's working pretty nice. So that's how do you make sure you take advantage of all this Microsoft innovation, and they have done really a good work to go to the cloud, to provide an hybrid model, to provide mobility solutions. How do you make sure that all your users are not going Dropbox and how everybody... Now, you can go and try to force them, but that doesn't quite work in our world, right? We're in a world of democracy and freedom, and people are bringing not only their own device, they are bringing their own expectation, their own applications, their own cloud. So you need to be smarter than that, and you need actually to help them understand the value of collaboration and understand the value. You need to convince them about the value of collaboration. And one of the things people have been missing is in order to really bridge the gap between IT and the line of business is to go back to basics. Too much weight on my iPad. Okay. So, we need... Okay. So, what's now is connectivity. Physical connectivity is good, but you need to make sure you stay connected. So that exactly is the issue between IT and business. You have all the processes in place, but from time to time you lose connection. So one of the key things to do is to reiterate and state the real business value. So you need really to talk to your folks and internally or with the head of your consultants. You need really to define. Okay, I'm still learning PowerPoint on the iPad. You need really to take a look at why collaboration is strategic in your organization. Why do we want to use SharePoint, Yammer? Why collaboration is strategic? What is the business value? What is the rationale of collaboration in our organization? And two, how collaboration supports our business objectives. Okay, we are trying to become more of a cohesive company. We have been going for M&As. We have multiple business units which are not really integrated. So these are the key. And we have, our CEO has made a clear call for a more integrated operation. Whatever it is, you have high-level business objective. You need to try to link your collaboration, SharePoint and Yammer, to this core business objective, and that's really important to do, and that's something which will help after that to convince people that they should adopt these tools. But it's not enough to talk at the high level. You need also to drill down to the key business use cases. Business use cases are really key to say, okay, we have said we want to get better integration between our people in Germany with our folks in US, or whatever it is, geographic integration or line of business integration or departmental integration, and you need to nail down the business use case, what type of documents they need to collaborate on. Is that engineering collaboration, and it's mostly done on Word document. And how are they going to interact, how are they going to use the enterprise social network in combination with the document collaboration. And what if these, are we talking about business use case which are mostly on desktop, or it's a combination of desktop and mobile a lot of the time? And you need really to define this business use case in order to convince your constituency, your business constituency, that this is the value we are bringing to you. And if you do these type of things, you're going to see definitely a lot more openness from the line of business, and they will be less tempted to do the wrong things. You know, it can be tempting to do the wrong things, but if you show them that you have an infrastructure which has been put in place, and you have some very clear business use cases which are aligned with the strategic objective of the company, you're getting a much better feedback. The other thing we have put together, we are doing it for our partners, we are doing it ourselves with our customers, is to do a collaboration workshop. To actually sit down with your main business stakeholders together with IT, and to try to unveil the purpose for collaboration, to identify these key business use cases, because a lot of time you ask IT and they don't know what are the key business use cases. Or they know. So, you know, in best case, they know they don't know. Worst case, they don't know. Okay? So getting together and making this collaboration workshop, and we are putting workshop, like 2 days workshop, on our customer site, or we're having third parties, consulting people, really helping you to really define the purpose for collaboration and the core business use case. And I'm starting from there. This has nothing to do with harmony. But I think, you know, technology, we have an overflow of technology, and you don't need yet another tool. So maybe I'm disappointing you guys here. The last thing you need is another tool. What you need is an integrated collaboration strategy, which is well integrated with your business strategy, well integrated with the business objective of your CIO, of your CEO, and you need to have a common language to communicate with your executive. Without that, we are all wasting our times. You know, we're going to have nice lunch and learn, We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to focus on the how, but we're missing the why. And when you are missing the why, you're getting lost in details and you're not achieving anything. So I wanted to share that with you, and that's one of the things we've been doing with Harmony. Now that we've been working for already, we started in 2008, and we have been working with some of the largest SharePoint implementation in the world, like ExxonMobil, Citibank, BAE Systems, Aon, and what we have learned is that it's not about tools. It's not about one more piece of technology. It's not even about YAML. You know, we got very excited about some of this new stuff, and it is exciting. There are a lot of excellent technology there, but at the end of the day, if we don't align between these two, the IT technologies together with the business objective, and that's the new role of IT. You know, today in a world of cloud and outsourced infrastructure, it's not about anymore, you know, setting up servers. We're evolving, regardless are slow or are fast, you're going to the cloud. The role of IT is evolving into more of a group which is packaging business solutions and selling them to the business. Okay? And as a vendor, we are also evolving the same way, trying to partner with IT departments. Well, we need to partner with IT departments to help them package these business solutions and how to launch the collaboration initiative in order to solve the core issues of low adoption and rogue IT and shadow IT, whatever you call it. Okay? So that was the first introduction. Any questions about that before we go back to technology? That doesn't make sense? Or that makes sense? Yeah? Okay. So if we take a look at these business users, in particular on mobile devices, but also on the desktop, just is getting a lot of applications. And Microsoft is adding a lot of applications. You have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you have Outlook, you have YAML, you have OneDrive, you have SharePoint, you have Link, you have all these applications. And these business users end up switching from one application to another and losing context, and this is very counterproductive to be just poking your iPad. You know, first you can make a hole in your iPad as you switching application like frenetically. So the whole notion of Harmony was designed. I would love this one to work, but let's see if PowerPoint can help me. PowerPoint help me. Basically, Harmony is taking all this application, this multiple application into one, and delivering you this single screen experience. So you are getting on one single screen everything you need in terms of YAML, SharePoint list, SharePoint documents, metadata, My Site, OneDrive. Everything is integrated in a single user experience. And that's really key to enable, once you have defined these clear use cases and you have done all the legwork to have a common language with your IT executive, now you need to take care of the user experience and to deliver this user experience on all the places people are working. So that's why, as you may know, who is familiar with the user of Harmony Email? Okay. With Harmony Email, we are bringing this Outlook plugin within your email, leveraging the synergy between the collaboration space and the messaging platform. So you have on your left side, you got your document, you got actually your email, your contacts, your calendar. So your personal space is on the left side, and you have on the right side your collaborative space. And you can very easily drag and drop from the collaborative space to the personal space and vice versa. So you have a very, other than focusing on your stuff, you're focusing on the collaboration, on the team stuff. So that's a big change from a psychological standpoint, and you got this single screen experience across your collaborative space and your personal space with your documents. It doesn't matter if they are coming from your on-premise SharePoint, if they can be coming also from an Office 365 site, they can be coming from multiple sites. I have the People tab where I can see document updates, so I can follow documents, so I don't need to call people and say, hey, what's going on? Did you update the spreadsheet? Did you update the Word document? Did you see my email? If you're making a phone call, asking if the person, your colleague, has seen your email, that's not a productive phone call. Something is wrong with your collaboration environment. And last but not least, a Yammer tab, so you can interact and see what are the interactions happening on Yammer. So all this, you're doing it from Outlook or even Lotus Notes for the one which didn't migrate yet. But we have also brought, with Harmony Email, we have also brought this experience within Outlook Web App. Is anybody using already Outlook Web App? Or still Outlook? Who is using Outlook's Rich Client? Okay, pretty much everybody. Who is using the Outlook Web App? Okay, so we already have some initial early adopters. So we have worked with Microsoft as part of the TAP program. They have asked us to provide the integration between Outlook Web App and they have a model, an Agave model, to plug into the web-based Outlook app. So this is a contextual app, not a persistent plugin, but a contextual app. It's contextual to the email. So if I have an email, I can see if I'm right now reading an email, the Harmony, which you can download from the Office store, will show you the Yammer business cards of all the recipients, will enable you to upload the attachments of this specific email onto your Office 365 SharePoint sites, favorite location and all that. And then with Harmony Mobile, who is familiar with Harmony Mobile? Who has downloaded using Harmony Mobile? Okay. So we are now offering Harmony Mobile for the past 2.5 years. We started our mobile journey. We started with iOS. We continued with BlackBerry. We're supporting BlackBerry 10. We have Android since last summer. And we have now a Windows Phone beta. So if you want, you can register to our Windows Phone beta on the Harmony website. And you can also, by the way, who is using Windows Phone? You like it? Yes? No? A lot. Okay. A lot is good. Now, when you're talking about mobile, you're introducing a new dimension of complexity, which is security. What if I lose my iPad, or I leave it in the plane? What happens if with BYOD also you got more concerns? What happens when the employee leaves the company? You cannot remote wipe out the whole iPad, right? What about the vacations pictures? You're gonna get in trouble if you do that. So that's why, rather than trying to figure out security, we partnered with a number of MDM vendors. Here is the list. We're partnering with Good, with Mobile Iron, with Citrix, with BlackBerry, and recently today we are announcing we are supporting the Microsoft Enterprise Mobility Suite, which include these dual authentication factor features, which include all the provisioning using Windows Intune, security management using the Active Directory rights management facility. So today we are announcing a new version of the Harmony Mobility Suite, which is coming with Office for iPad integration, which I'm using right now, and which is supporting OneDrive for Business. and supporting the EMS, the Enterprise, Microsoft Enterprise Mobility Suite. And in fact, you end up having really two paths, because the Enterprise Mobility Suite from Microsoft is designed for Office 365. So you don't really need a secure container if you're using Office 365. You can use the Enterprise Mobility Suite from Microsoft. However, we have been working with a lot of the large SharePoint deployments. When it comes to accessing intranet assets, you really need the tunneling and the secured container, which are available from Good Technology, Mobile Iron, BlackBerry Enterprise Server, which is now supporting iOS and Android, or Citrix. Okay, so maybe one thing to keep in mind as you're talking to your mobility infrastructure people, sometimes they get real confused. You got two paths. One path, the Office 365 path, which you can get maybe some for the hybrid model, and you have some collaboration ad hoc projects, less regulated documents on the Office 365, so you can use EMS and get out of the door pretty quickly a mobility solution. If you're going more, you want to expose your intranet SharePoint or your within the VPN SharePoint, your on-premise SharePoint, then you probably need something more robust with a secure container, and then you get in your mobile people will tell you we need to do a bake-off, and you're going to go for a 6 months bake-off. Was chosen one of these secured container solutions here? Okay, so we have seen that in the past year, a lot of our customers have been very busy choosing such a solution. Now, another tip and another confusion is because we are partnering with Good and all these folks, people are confusing document sharing and document collaboration. That's and that's very relevant also to the Shadow IT Dropbox discussion. You know, when you look at this Dropbox, and when you look also at GoodShare, for example, all these entry-level document sharing solutions are really nice to share documents with one or two colleagues, but they are not really enabling collaboration. By collaboration, we mean the ability to discover and search content, right? When I'm collaborating at an enterprise level, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a particular file. I want to learn about a particular subject. I want to share knowledge. So I'm using enterprise keywords, I'm using tags, I'm using required property in order to have a taxonomy. Who has already put in place a taxonomy policy? Okay. Who feels you are in a document chaos type of environment? Okay. That's a common disease in the SharePoint healthcare system. You got two diseases, two basic diseases in SharePoint. One is no adoption. It's silent. And the other one, which is becoming more and more common, is you got adoption, and now you got too much adoption, wide adoption, too many documents, and you can't find anything. And then you get another second type of complaint from the line of business: we can't find anything. Is that something you have heard about? We can't find anything on our SharePoint site, right? So that's the document chaos symptoms. So when you go to your doctor, make sure you have different symptoms for different SharePoint diseases. So with mobile collaboration, I can lead a record management initiative. I can lead a record management, knowledge management initiative. I can find content. I can engage with colleagues. Talking collaboration, you need to be able to escalate the discussion and to start a link discussion or to have Yammer to discuss a document. I want to have access to real-time document updates, so I can follow documents, follow location, follow tags, follow subject, and get updates in real time. I want to be able to access offline documents, very important. We see a lot of business continuity use cases. People need to be able, like people on the ground, operating field people which are on the ground needs to have access to a standard procedure even when they don't have access to connectivity. For example, you're in a conference, in a SharePoint conference, which is all about cloud. You're not expecting to have connectivity in such a conference, right? Would you? You don't need to access the cloud. You don't need the internet, do you? Okay, so that's where you need offline access. So at the conference, it was very useful to have offline access. Now, I was just ironic for the one which didn't. Well, you cannot do my joke. That's okay. So if we look at, before we get to a demo, let's take a quick look at some common use cases. So for example, at ExxonMobil, the real use case there for the entire organization was really to become more of a collaborative organization with a lot of adoption workshops together with the business community. They even had a Genius bar in every location. IT set up a Genius bar like the Apple Store Genius bars to enable informal support and really turning the organization to work like a network across geographies. Other use cases, at BA System, the Chief Legal Officer initiated a record management initiative which was absolutely mandatory for every document in order to reduce liabilities on large-scale projects. So they started from email savings using the capabilities of Harmony to save emails and to find emails with mapping email fields to SharePoint columns. At DuPont, which was one of the very early adopters of Office 365, Harmony was selected for 33,000 users to selectively migrate content from Notes to Office 365. So they only did, rather than doing the garbage in, garbage out, brute force migration, they did only 3 months of content, then the user had 6 months to do selective migration of important content using Harmony. So this gives you some sense of the customer use cases that we have been dealing with: record management, knowledge management, and I will let Richard to take it from here. Any question while he's setting up about these business use cases? If not, we'll let him drill down more into